Welcome along to what could be a stormy evening in Rome's Olympic Stadium. Milan's last gasp title success last season at Lazio's expense still rankles with the Romans, and on a weekend that's already produced 5 red cards in Serie A, the lid is loose on what was already going to be a grudge match. Well, both teams are unbeaten to start the season in all competitions as well. George Weah isn't a player who's had many chances to shine in Milan's starting lineup this season, but he's back at a ground that he remembers with fond memories. Milan haven't won in Rome since December 1995. It was a 1-0 success on that occasion, and Weah scored that famous solo goal where he ran from his own half before rounding the keeper and slotting it home. And I know Paul Walsh remembers that goal as well as I do. If he repeats that tonight, we're in for a good one.
That's right, I think that's what he'll be trying to emulate again tonight. He hasn't had many chances to shine this season, as you've already said, and I'm sure he'll be trying to reproduce that goal to possibly win the match for him tonight.
And there's a player who scored an equally good goal, rather different last week, Matías Almeyda, the Argentinian international midfielder who cracked home a 40-yard volley against Parma. It was enough for a 2-1 win. I mentioned it could be stormy. Alessandro Nesta hasn't really helped that too much this week. He's made some comments about dummies coming out of the pram as far as Milan are concerned. Milan have complained this week about refereeing decisions that went against them in their 1-1 Champions League draw against Hertha Berlin. And Signor Alessandro Nesta simply said, well, they can't have it their own way all the time, and Milan have responded in kind. So the fires have been stoked. The sides both have the chance to go second in the table, and it's Lazio who get us underway in their traditional light blue shirts. Milan, of course, equally traditional in their red and black stripes. And it's Paolo Negro in possession, looking towards the in-form Marcelo Salas. There's a player who's been hanging in the goals in recent weeks. Serginho goes down under challenge from 2 Lazio defenders. And that means the first free kick of the evening goes in favour of the visitors from Milan. It was Boksic who came in, and it was his foul.
And you see that early on, the way that they're approaching the game already.
Maldini with the free kick. Cleared away towards Diego Simeone. And then Boksic on a burst. Boksic is a player who needs a goal. He was very disappointing last week, I thought, against Parma. The Croatian strong running forward. And of course there's plenty of competition for striking places in this Lazio lineup. And competition increased this week. Kenneth Anderson has ended his 3-month stay. He's gone back to Bologna. Lazio, though, have snapped up Argentinian striker Martin Palermo to replace him. Abbiati has it whipped away from him by his own defender. And Shevchenko's back there to begin the Milan counter. Maldini. Neat sidestep away from Simeone. Now it's Veron trying to get through the mist. And a first half chance for Boksic, trying to break into the area. Well, goalkeeper Luca Marchigiani, or rather Christian Abbiati for Milan, is complaining about the challenge from Boksic, but Paul, I think he had every right to go for that.
That's right, I mean, great ball through. His first touch let him down a little bit, if anything. Fantastic pass, though, from Veron. And his first touch has just got it too far out of his feet and has given the keeper the chance to dive on it.
Trying to see through the fog and pick out who's who on each side. It's a magnificent atmosphere as ever inside the Olympic Stadium. Veron couldn't quite find Salas. Maybe he's having the same problem as we are.
He's certainly a fine specimen, Veron. He's got a great physique, he's a great athlete, and when that ball's at his feet, he's a very dangerous man. Great balls into the front players.
There's Salas trying to combine with Boksic. Yet another strike pairing for Lazio. Simone Inzaghi can count himself to be very unlucky indeed to just be among the substitutes this evening. There's the man who favours that squad rotation system, Sven-Göran Eriksson. Inzaghi, the near £9 million signing from Piacenza in the summer, scored on his European debut in the week in the 4-0 win against Maribor, and he's promptly left out again. Whatever happened, Paul, to the players in form keep the shirts sort of theory?
That's right, it's unbelievable. 9 million players on the bench. Some of the problem must be keeping them happy, keeping their attitudes right, and when they do come into the side, at least it's creating great competition for places.
There's a player who's been an automatic choice for Milan and Italy for years now, some 11.5 years, Paolo Maldini. They're only 31 with plenty of football to come. Boksic. They will get there. Ayala is the covering defender. Maldini keeps tabs on Salas. Boksic will have another go. And he forces a corner. Sheer persistence from the Croatian.
Yeah, the Lazio strikers certainly finding plenty of spaces up them inside channels there. And with Veron being able to pick people out, you know, either needing passes, they're going to have to be a bit tight at the back, Milan.
And here comes the man known in Italy as Mr. Free Kick, Mr. Corner, Mr. Set Piece, whatever you want to call him. Sinisa Mihajlovic's left foot, one of the sweetest in the game, and he's proved it again with a whipped-in ball that's just about dealt with. Second opportunity. Finally, it's properly cleared by George Weah, of all people.
I think you can see the quality that he's got there. He whips it in, it's got plenty of dip and bend on it, and it's coming in at pace. Makes it difficult for the keeper to decide whether he can come and catch anything.
And brought down superbly by Boksic. He had to stretch. Veron back in. Maldini clears, and it's the visitors from Milan who are under pressure at the start of the game.
Yeah, Lazio certainly making the run in at the moment. And Milan trying to break out just to take the pressure off themselves at the moment.
And both sides unbeaten, but it's Lazio who have the slightly better start to the season, with 3 wins and a draw. Milan 2 wins and 2 draws. And they are both top of their respective Champions League groups A and H as well, so
can't be bad, I go.
Can't be bad, and yet, I tell you what, I bet both coaches are under pressure. It always seems to be the case in Italy.
Well, the expectations are so high for both of these clubs that anything less than the top spots in whatever they're doing won't do.
And Serginho. This time the decision goes in Lazio's favour. Maldini. Shevchenko under pressure from Nesta. Alessandro Nesta, the captain of Lazio at just 23. Already talked about his comments that wound up Milan in the week. Not that it'll worry him unduly. He's a very cool customer, is Alessandro Nesta. And he's been impeccable again this season so far. This just the 5th game into the Italian league season. Mihajlović steps up well. Leonardo looking for Weah. Back in from Gulli. And it's Mihajlović to launch one in the general direction of Salas. Marcelo Salas tangling with Ayala.
Yeah, he's backing in there, guy, and Ayala just standing his ground and physically shrugging him off. But Milan, when they're getting forward, are finding it difficult to find spaces for the front men to pick the ball up in, and the ball seems to be coming back at their defenders pretty lively.
A little bit of room this time for Costacurta. Gulli. George Weah. Working hard, but showing too much of the ball to Conceicao. This is Gulli, one of several Argentinians involved. And still going.
Certainly in the final third, I think that you find when the Milan players are getting the ball forward, there's several bodies around them, they're not letting them get their heads up, tackles are coming in, they make it very uneasy for them.
Talked about the changes in the Lazio strike force, changes in defence as well. Paolo Negro and Giuseppe Pancaro seem to be alternating week in, week out for the right-back spot. Negro's got the nod this evening. As the first effort in anger. It's Ambrosini from 20 yards out. Nothing to trouble Luca Marchigiani, but worth a pop.
Yeah, high ball coming high out the sky. Didn't think twice about it though, that's just all that was in his mind, and he's got a decent strike, not quite made the target.
Veron again, going for route 1 towards Boksic this time rather than Salas.
Yeah, Boksic's a bit disappointed there with the pass. He knows that he's getting a lot of joy with that ball from just inside left there, outside to outside left. He's getting in the back of the defenders and picking up a lot of ball, which he's enjoying at the moment.
Another throw for Lazio. 4 meetings between these sides last season. And It ended pretty much all square with a winner piece and 2 draws. Milan's win came in the league back in November of last season. Leonardo getting the only goal in the San Siro. And the fact that this game has been regarded as a grudge match isn't just because of the fact Milan snatched the title from under Lazio's noses as Serginho is impeded. It's also because of the way they won it. There was a goalless draw in Rome's Olympic Stadium in which Lazio forced 14 corners without reply from Milan. They couldn't win the game though. They lost their next 2 and Milan won their next 7 and won the league. It was drama all the way in Italy last season, and I predict more of the same. As long as the quality of the long-range passing improves tonight.
That's it, it's early days. I mean, it's quite a high-tempo game at the minute. As we spoke about just a minute ago, there's not a lot of room. You know, players of this quality, you can't give them too much time on the ball because they can hurt you. So as soon as they're getting hold of it, people are closing them down and trying to make it difficult for them. And as the game wears on, it'll be those players who can just turn the game with a moment of brilliance. Well,
that was better between Maldini and Serginho. Finally was half clipped and half stumbled. Conceicao caught in possession. That's Gulli. Now Weah. Shevchenko has Nesta and Veron to deal with, and Veron is snapping away at the Ukrainian.
I think that's a fine example of what we were just speaking about. As soon as Shevchenko's got the ball, there's 2 defenders on him, his head's gone down, he's had to go back.
A little too close from Lazio. Gulli! Really well struck. But the second Milan effort of the evening to fly past the right-hand post of Luca Marchigiani's goal.
Yeah, just picking up the scraps there and seeing sight of the goal, and he's just let fly, and you know, be disappointed he hasn't possibly hit the target, even though it's a longish effort.
Negro. And his face told the story. There was a distinct lack of options for the full-back to aim for down the flank.
That's it, both sides, as we've said already a couple of times, is they're getting right on top of people. You know, they're fit athletes, these teams, both teams.
And here's Shevchenko beaten in the race by Marchigiani.
Yeah, it's going to be one fantastic ball, one moment of brilliance from an individual that turns this game, because it's going to be tight all round the pitch for the whole 90 minutes.
Watching the pattern of the game so far, Paul, are you surprised to see what seems to be a premeditated idea from Lazio to try and hit the ball over the top of the Milan defence? They've done it on 4 or 5 occasions now, or tried to.
Well, yeah, the strikers are clever players, Lazio strikers, and they'll be coming in and spinning out and trying to receive that ball. The reason that Milan might be pushing up a little bit is maybe they think that they haven't got the pace to do that.
Milan seem to have settled down after a very sluggish start. Yeah. And this is Serginho, who's been as lively as anybody. Gulli keeps the attack moving for a moment before Nesta was able to clear. Finally it's Simeone. Again he tried to spring the trap long. Salas appreciated his intentions, but again not the quality.
No, I don't think that they're going to want that all night, the strikers. People like Salas are going to want to mix the game up. They won't want everything over the top, you know, want a few over the top so that he can maybe come short and receive something, buy himself a bit of time and get turned and maybe take it on and do something different.
Abbiati. There's Veron beating his Argentine colleague Gulli in the air. Gulli comes back for more. Veron brought down. There's an advantage played. I think the referee actually didn't judge that challenge a foul. Simeone didn't quite judge his angles properly.
Yeah, I think he's just played the advantage there. It dropped to Simone. Well, it's a crunching tackle. And the ball flies away to Simeone, but I think he telegraphed what he was trying to do and he didn't fool the keeper in any way.
When we look back at the replay, we saw that Ambrosini certainly took no prisoners with his challenge on Veron.
I don't think you'd expect any less in this game, would you?
Well, it should be a really crunching midfield battle because Lazio have the 3 Argentines who seem to gang up together so well, Veron, Almeyda and Simeone. And Milan with their Italian contingent, which seems quite rare these days, with Ambrosini and Giunti crunching in, have some tacklers themselves. And here's George Weah trying to find some room. Ambrosini. Serginho.
Good play from Lazio. They've made them come back, play it across the pitch. Milan having to play a patient build-up, and in the end frustrating themselves and the ball going out for a throw-in.
It's going to be Paolo Negro's throw. Maldini. Weah. And he slipped past the first challenge, but not the second. And it's Almeyda's clearance.
Yeah, it was a great take by Weah. It was a bit unfortunate. He got turned, and again, another body came sliding in and just nicked it away from him.
And plenty of speculation as to George Weah's future with Milan over the last year, really, let alone the last few months. He was 33 on Friday, and he's still performing at the very highest level. And it says something that he's been preferred tonight to Oliver Bierhoff.
Yeah, I think that was a big surprise. I expected Bierhoff to be there tonight, and he's gone for Weah, who's had suspension recently. Maybe he thought he could come in and make a difference tonight.
That's Giunti, and looking for George Weah. Good battle with Nesta, and Nesta finally goes to ground. Weah looks rather angrily towards the referee, but I don't think he can have too many protests.
Yeah, just shielding the ball and making it difficult to Weah to get anywhere near it. And he's just shoved him over. Free kick.
Salas came off worse in the aerial challenge. We saw Marcelo Salas last week against Parma, involved in a sickening aerial collision with Antonio Benarivo.
Yeah.
Benarivo stretched it off. That one not quite as high pace.
That's his elbow just caught him on the top of the head there. Quite painful, I should imagine. Nothing too serious. I'm sure he'll get up and carry on no problem.
And Roberto Ayala said before this game that he was looking forward to the contest with Salas. I think he's just shading things at the moment. Maybe Mihajlović will prove us otherwise. Difficult angle, but not for this fella usually.
Well, he's got the option to have a shot, which is unlikely, or he's going to fizz one of those left foot low swirlers in for the forwards to attack.
Mihajlović has gone for goal. Almeyda was waiting to rush in, and I don't think appreciated the intervention of Conceicao. As you'd expect, nothing really to choose between the teams.
I mean, last week Veron played down the right-hand side. This week he's coming from the left-hand side. Don't really know which his strongest position is. Possibly he's even better through the middle.
Albertini hasn't got a great deal of distance on his clearances so far. This one is picked up by Ambrosini. And our referee, Livio Bazzoli, plays a part for Lazio. And bearing in mind that frantic finish to the Serie A season last time round, our referee Bazzoli played a significant part because he refereed Lazio on the last day of last season. A 2-1 win against Parma that proved in vain. This is Boksic around Costacurta. Conceicao almost squeezed through to Simeone. Now Veron! The Argentine strikes his third goal of the season. The Olympic Stadium erupts. It's Juan Veron for Lazio with a strike that just had too much pace for goalkeeper Albertini.
Yeah, great finish, but you just feel that Milan should have possibly cleared it a little bit just before that chance came along. They had the opportunity, I think, when Boksic was coming in from the left-hand side. I think we might just see it on the replay when it comes up. But I think from Milan's point of view, they're disappointed they didn't get that away. But having said that, great finish from Veron. As it comes out, drops down and he smashes it in. Well, poor control, this is what I was talking about. And he's left it and he's dropped out to Veron and he's smashed it into the ground off a skiddy surface, and that's flew in.
It really picked up pace off the turf. Albertini did manage to get both hands to the ball, but not enough. And it will be Roberto Ayala who looks back on that goal with a sense of shame.
I think he could be getting a bit of a roasting at half-time, because that was just a straightforward clearance or control clearance, and he's done neither really. Bit hesitant, And it's helped to put his team 1 goal down.
And he was a player that, although it's still early stages, up until that moment, hadn't put a foot wrong in his battle with Salas.
Right.
Crucial moments, he slipped up. Lazio 1, Milan 0 in Rome's Olympic Stadium, which is again engulfed by fireworks smoke.
Now re-engineered for maximum comfort and effortless driving. It makes every journey feel shorter. The new Vauxhall Vectra, the end of long journeys.
Vauxhall, raising the standard.
I'm so scared.
Get in touch with Singles. Call us now on 0906 800 8000.
Favalli. Again looking long. Easy for Abbiati, but you can't really knock Lazio's tactics at this stage because they have the lead.
Yeah, they've been very tight and very narrow at the back, that back four, not giving any space away, making it difficult for the Milan strikers to have it. That's why they're having to be very patient in the midfield and the build-up. As you can see, Weah coming off short for it this time.
Playing it too long for Shevchenko. It's Luca Marchigiani, who returned to the Lazio goal in midweek to keep a clean sheet against tiny Maribor of Slovenia in the Champions League. He's missed the last 2.5 games with a muscle strain, and he's been very ably deputised by the veteran Marco Ballotta. But then again, it goes without saying that Lazio seem to have 3 or 4 for every position on the field.
Yeah, it's a massive squad. We paid a fortune for it as well, and you know, with people like Inzaghi on the bench at 9 million or whatever it was, you know, it just shows you the strength in depth that both teams have got.
And towards George Weah. It's Negro who hooks it clear. Overrun by Albertini. And Serginho dispossessed by the hard-working Conceicao. He's in for Pavel Nedved this evening. Nedved caught high on the thigh by 6 studs of a Parma player last week. Now Veron looking for number 2. Oh my word! What a strike from Veron. He's got his sights set on goal tonight. Well, Lazio seem to be queuing up to take it in turns to hit a goal of the season in the early days. We saw Almeyda against Parma from 40 yards, then from just about 30, Veron. Well, the bar's still rattling. Some power in that right boot of Juan Veron. We saw it with the goal. And we've seen it again. Almeyda. Maldini keeps it in. Weah. Frustrating evening so far for Milan strikers. There is Maldini. Albertini tries to imitate what Veron did at the other end, but again it's the right post that was missed. Dimitri Albertini along with Alessandro Costacurta and Paolo Maldini, a real old stager for AC Milan. They've been involved in all of the club's 6 title successes of recent times. I bet even they were surprised at the way in which they ended the season last time. Salas quite clearly coming in with his hand. Costacurta. And Maldini. Whistles for the Italian national team captain. Whistles for every player in red and black at the moment. One point of note is that Milan have gone back to their broad red and black stripes for Serie A action this season. In the Champions League, it's a rather more traditional narrow striped affair. Lazio, as is befitting of their squad at the moment, as Shevchenko breaks away. Well, he left Nesta for dead and brought the best out of Marcagiani. First real shooting chance for Shevchenko.
Yeah, it's the first opening at goal he's had there, and he's, well, to be fair, it's a great save, low down to his left, the keeper. Shevchenko showing his pace there, the ball's gone through on the angle, he's got it out of his feet. Decent strike, under pressure from the defender, and a great save.
A little more promising for Milan and Andrei Shevchenko. Here's Veron, enjoying his evening all right. Salas opting not to go for the cross that was just a little overhit, and the Argentine acknowledges that fact. And trying to get themselves back in the game, trailing by Juan Sebastian Veron's strike to nil. Veron, who only scored 1 Serie A goal in the whole of last season with Parma, and already this season for Lazio, he's weighed in with 3. And so he should at some 18-19 million pounds.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's difficult really, because the players don't put them prices on themselves, and they put the expectation because of the transfer fees is unbelievable at times, but it does add a big pressure to the player to produce, and certainly if he's a goal scorer, even more pressure, because they're judged by the goals that they score at the end of the season.
Albertini. Shevchenko has it nicked away. Serginho. A little too close for the 1-2 with Shevchenko, but still Milan press. Simeone, along with the help of Conceicao, and look towards Boksic. Salas is caught. Referee deems that there was nothing untoward in that challenge, and this is promising for Milan. It was for a moment. Giunti finally ran into Paolo Negro. You can see there he's holding the inside of his right thigh, or somewhere in that region anyway, as he took a high knee.
Yeah, looked very painful actually, as he's clearing it away there. It's just come on him a little bit late, and as his knees followed through, he's got it in the unmentionables, and he's in a bit of pain there.
And Paolo Negro still down. For the rest of this game, for the Lazio fullback, high knee equals high voice. And he's caught by Federico Giunti in full flight. Well, Negro gets his breath back, whatever else he might find, and play will continue in the meantime. Roberto Mancini waiting to make his arrival. Mancini, you wouldn't have thought would be a replacement for Negro if he does have to leave the field. I feel sure he'll be able to continue in a while. There's Giunti, the culprit, although it was very much a 50-50 challenge.
I was just wondering what happened to the old cold sponge down the shorts. You know, that might have livened him up a bit. I don't remember getting carried off on a stretcher for that one.
Certainly not a motorised stretcher in your day, Paul. All mod cons for the superstars of Lazio. Well, it certainly didn't strike him where they're applying the water to his shin. Maldini. Shevchenko. Serginho Again, not combining with Shevchenko. He's seen plenty of the ball, the left-sided Brazilian Serginho, arrived from Sao Paulo in the summer. He's impressed by all accounts in all Milan's early games so far this evening. Apart from one early burst, not quite being spot on. Milan are coming back strongly though. This is a useful run, brought to an end by Nesta temporarily. Serginho looking towards George Weah. It hung nicely for Marcagiani.
Yeah, good cross in, but they're getting pressurised into putting crosses in because of the pressure from the Lazio defenders, because they're not giving them any space for their strikers to have balls into their feet.
Here's Boksic looking to create some space of his own. Didn't really connect as well as he might have done, and Albertini is happy to watch it wide. Saw by the caption there, he's got 30 goals in Serie A. Didn't manage any last season, he only made 3 appearances due to a long-term injury. Just 29 though, Alan Boksic. Plenty more to come from him. Here's George Weah. Nesta for once doesn't time it to perfection, but he's able to get back to his feet quickly to nip in a second time. Maybe remembers his magnificent goal in the Olympic Stadium nearly 4 years ago now, because although he's had precious little service, he really does look fired up for this one.
Yeah, he hasn't had a lot of games this season, so he's out there trying to impress, and he's got his hands full at the moment because that Lazio defence is so narrow when they get forward, and there just aren't a lot of spaces. The only space they're showing them is that one out wide. Hold the line very well and make it difficult for players to make runs in behind them.
Paolo Negro is okay to continue. He's okay in the liberal sense of the word. I'm sure he'd disagree, but continue he will. And there's a striker in form, waiting for his first chance of the evening, Marcelo Salas. 5 goals this season. Scored another 2 in midweek against Maribor, and there were 2 really high-quality finishes. He's offside this time, though. I often wonder why Paolo Maldini never signed for Arsenal. He plays that offside game so well and marshals the Milan defence. Some more marshalling to do here, because this is Conceicao with support from Simeone. The Portuguese star looks for Boksic. It's Maldini's tackle. And a few words exchanged between Boksic and Conceicao.
Yeah, I think Boksic getting a bit frustrated. I think he knows he should have done better. His first touch just letting him down a bit, and then Conceicao wanting the ball out to the right, and he couldn't quite deliver.
Shevchenko taking on Negro. Can't beat Negro and Veron combined though. And Veron clears only as far as Albertini. It's set up nicely for Albertini. Always going to be ambitious from that sort of distance. For once it was a poor quality ball from Juan Veron. The Milan bench look on. Umberto Zaccheroni, a coach well known for favouring an attacking style. He often just about plays 3 strikers in, sometimes Bierhoff, sometimes Weah, Shevchenko and Leonardo there too, but we've not seen a great deal of that attacking intent so far this evening. That's partly due to the fact that Lazio are denying them the chance to get forward. And also I think he has just tweaked the system a little bit this evening, Paul. He's not going all out for glory against the Lazio team he knows can break on the counter and make Milan pay.
Well, that's right, I think he's very aware of that, and that's exactly how Lazio are trying to play at the moment. Very tight across the back, and then you know, sucking the Milan players in and then trying to hit them on the break, really.
Just caught a glimpse of substitute Giuseppe Pancaro, natural right back to replace Negro. Here's Boksic. Lazio get the throw. And it's Lazio who lead by 1-0. It's been a reasonably evenly matched game in terms of territorial advantage and possession for either side. But Lazio, you sense, as Simeone dives in but doesn't manage to get the corner, Lazio, you sense, Paul, have just a bit of control over the game.
Well, when Milan are coming at them, they're just soaking the pressure up, not too many problems. I think they're restricting Milan to long shots, which you'd expect the keeper to save or are very difficult to score from. And once they pick the ball up, they're hitting on the break very quickly.
Paolo Negro will not be able to carry on. It is a straight swap in defence for Lazio. It's Giuseppe Pancaro who comes on. They have been alternating for that position all season. His first test is a race with Serginho, which the Brazilian wins, and George Weah scrambles it in off Mihajlović. And Milan back on level terms, the Olympic Stadium reduced to silence. Oh, Weah surely can't claim that. That's got to be a Mihajlović own goal.
I think the strikers' union will be coming out now. I'm giving it to George Weah. He had the touch, it was going towards goal. It's the first time Serginho has really got any joy down that left-hand side. His pace carrying him in behind Pancaro. I think it's Pancaro. And a great ball across. Very fortunate for Weah the way it's gone in. But I'm still sticking up for him, even though you're not having it, guy. Oh, well, having seen that, maybe not. Maybe not. I'll have to change my mind on that now.
I think we'll go for the first call on that one. Weah finding his shot blocked by Marcagiani. Sinisa Mihajlović coming back, didn't know anything about it. What he does know, if he checks the scoreboards, is that Milan, thanks to his own goal, are back on level terms, and Serie A, just like the English Premiership, littered with own goals in the early weeks of the season. 1-1 in Rome's Olympic Stadium. The caption still gives it to George Weah. Weah later on, I'm sure, will thank them for it. He really made a bit of a mess of it, the African. It hit his right boot, came off his left knee. Finally, the head of Mihajlović did the rest.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, that looked like a striker out of confidence, or certainly match practice in front of goal.
And Lazio come back and force Abbiati into a fine save. It's Alan Boksic. Wonders how on earth the Milan number 12, nearly called him the number 1. And he's the regular goalkeeper wearing 12. And Boksic just managed to get a sight on goal. It is a good block. And it's going to be a corner for Lazio, looking to restore their lead immediately. Mihajlović will take. Salas poised. Abbiati! Oh, scripted! Lazio back in front. It's Diego Simeone. And perhaps fitting that it was Mihajlović who took charge of delivery. The sort of delivery he supplies so effectively, both in Italy over the years and for Yugoslavia. And Diego Simeone has claimed his first goal since his summer move from Inter Milan.
Yeah, I think the jury's out on this one. I think a great ball in by Mihajlović. It's whipped in with pace very quickly, dipping at the near post. Be interesting to see who did get the final touch. I think the keeper's pushed it in his own net.
Looking at the replay there, I think that's another own goal. I don't even think Simeone got a touch on that. It's Abbiati turning Mihajlovic's corner into his own net. It's 2-1 Lazio. And again we have a Serie A game which comes to the boil early in terms of goals. Lazio 2, AC Milan 1. Now Salas stretching. Cleared by Abbiati, but not convincingly. Conceicao. Salas wants it. Boksic is better positioned. And a touch on his chest. And to say it wasn't his best would be under-exaggerating.
Yeah, I think Boksic got caught in two minds there, whether to volley it or to take it down and try and knock it in the middle for Salas. But the goal there before that was good play between Salas and Boksic. Salas slipping in through the middle, great shot by Boksic. Good save by the keeper, which led to the corner. But the quality of them corners are making it very difficult for defenders and goalkeepers.
Maldini. Touch with the outside of the right boot, but only finds touch. And the Milan skipper looks pretty shell-shocked, as does his coach, Alberto Zaccheroni. There's Salas. Boksic making the run. Conceicao outside. Salas has gone into the middle! Oh, that's brilliant! No doubt about who scored that one. It's another bullet from the forehead of Marcelo Salas. Quality of the link-up play was excellent as well from Lazio. Salas started the move. Boksic and Conceicao continued it. And how many times have we seen headers like that from the Chilean Salas?
Absolutely wonderful goal. Started again by Salas. He's picked it up. He slid it into Boksic. Boksic has set it out wide. Good delivery in, but what a fantastic header to generate that power from at least the penalty spot, it looked like. I'd like to see the replay again, but great power and accuracy straight into the corner.
Well, he did it against Maribor of Slovenia in the Champions League on Wednesday. That was a downward header. This one, he just steered with pace past Abbiati. The third goal in a 4-minute spell in Rome's Olympic Stadium. And a goal that has put Lazio 3-1 into the lead against Milan. They must have thought they'd done the hard work by getting an equaliser.
Yeah, just got themselves back in the game and suddenly it slipped away from them again. But for goals of that quality, especially as a spectator, but me looking at it here is, you know, so it was a wonderful goal, brilliantly made. Difficult to, you know, to criticise the defending because it was such a good delivery in and such a well-executed header.
Some still say Italian football can be slow. I'll tell you what, this season, Serie A means goals. And goals of high quality, and some bundled own goals too. We've had 4 again already before half-time in Rome. Shevchenko. Weah. Cut out by Pancaro before it could reach Serginho. And here's Conceicao. Look at the space Boksic found again. Portuguese international Conceicao has, in a roundabout way, picked out Veron instead. And Lazio are starting to stroke the ball around with some confidence. Look at that from Veron, the whole width of the field to Conceicao. Of course, at times it can be deemed a little over-elaborate.
Yeah, seeing how many times they can change it from one wing to the other there. They have changed the play well. I think they've just overdid it there. I think a bit of confidence coming out, a little bit of showing off. Yeah, they're well up now. They're delighted that they're 3-1 up, and you know, confidence is showing, and they're starting to turn the class on.
And this was the cross of Conceicao, which was perfect for Marcelo Salas. There aren't many better headers of the ball from inside the penalty area in world football just at the moment. Salas with his 6th goal of the season, his 2nd in Serie A. He's got 3 in the Champions League, and believe it or not, as often as he started this season, he's been on the bench. Such is the quality of the Lazio squad that Coach Eriksson likes to rotate so much. That one asking a bit too much of Salas. Pancaro. On into Simeone. From Mihajlović. This is a joy to watch from Lazio, and not that time. It was Pancaro rather passing the ball straight to goalkeeper Abbiati. Now Serginho for Milan. Three more goals from Lazio, as we can see, as Pancaro played it forward. Salas was offside. And the way that Veron's playing in midfield, he's hit 3 goals this season. The way that Salas is playing, they're not missing Christian Vieri one little bit. And the £32 million they got for the now Inter striker have helped Lazio plenty as well. Conceicao. Almeyda. Looking for Veron, but it will be tidied up by Costacurta. Zaccaroni hops from foot to foot on the touchline, the Milan coach. He'll be composing his half-time team talk as the whistle goes for a free kick to the visitors, given against Boksic. Strong running from Gulli. Still Gulli. Shevchenko. Good chance, Shevchenko, round the keeper, it's a good finish too. 3-2 in Rome. Andrei Shevchenko fires up Milan. And on the stroke of half-time, they're back in the game again.
What another fantastic finish that was. I mean, Shevchenko's been limited to how much quality ball he's been able to get around the box. And the defender might be a little bit disappointed, but he's been able to let it run across his body, Shevchenko, just out of reach of the defender, opened his body out. Thought his first touch had taken him too near to the goalkeeper, shifts it to his right and smashes it in the roof of the net. That's an unbelievable finish. Really set the game up now.
top scorer in the Champions League last season. Gets his third Serie A goal, his fourth in the season altogether. A marvellous finish. A player that some Milan fans have already dubbed the new Marco van Basten. If a £15.5 million price tag wasn't enough pressure, that tag certainly is, and look at him now. This time Pancaro comes in with a despairing challenge, and a challenge that proved effective for Lazio, and that might just have changed the wording of the half-time team talk, that Shevchenko goal.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to try and keep them upbeat in the second half. He won't, you know, he'll be a bit more optimistic about what they might do, and I'm sure it's a much better way of coming in at half-time.
5 goals in the first half, maybe there'll be 6 before the break. Corner is a little deep, still not away. A real battle going on. There's Salas getting involved as well. Scrambled away, Albertini, now Almeyda. And now Veron. Boksic has joined the attack late. Conceicao was furthest forward. He'll race with Giunti. Good midfield covering from Federico Giunti. And 2 Serie A appearances for Parma last season. And promptly joined the champions. Finds himself 3-2 down this evening. Plenty of work left to do as we enter time added on at the end of the first half. And easy for Abbiati. Well, Milan coming into this game after 4 games were Serie A's top goal scorers with 10 league goals from their 4. They were overtaken by Inter last night. And promptly back at the top of the tree again. They'll be happier though if they can manage to get at least a point from this one. Goals don't matter when you're getting beat. Gulli. Shevchenko coming deep to continue his increased involvement in the game. Serginho. Only Weah, anywhere near the penalty area, and dealt with easily by Mihajlović. Sergio Conceicao had a very industrious first half down Lazio's right flank. Space on Milan's now. Veron comes to Costacurta. He's overhit that one hopelessly. It'll be a goal kick for Luca Marchigiani and Lazio. And we take another look at a fine finish from Shevchenko.
Yeah, it gets better every time I see it. The keeper diving out with his feet there, just shifted it to his right. What a cool finish.
Boksic, Salas in the centre, Conceicao joins him. Maldini was there all along. A little too much showboating from Alan Boksic. He receives a few harsh words from Juan Veron. It's been a mixed sort of game for Alan Boksic. His side leads 3-2. He's had 1 shot on goal himself. All in all, he looks a pretty frustrated striker, believe it or not.
Yeah, I think he struggles in those right positions at times. He's not the quickest or the sharpest, and he just finds it difficult to make that half a yard now and again.
And his frustration increases with a whistle blown against him for a free kick. An exasperated expression on the Croatian's face. Serginho rounding Conceicao quite comfortably. Now setting off. Nesta's tackle timed well. Serginho has a slight look of Eusebio about him. Isn't quite reaching class of players yet. Albertini. Ambrosini. Almost a shooting chance opening up for Costacurta, who for the 2nd successive time has overhit the cross. I don't understand Ukrainian or Italian, but Shevchenko's words to Costacurta weren't kind as the players troop off for a well-deserved half-time break. An all-action first half in Rome's Olympic Stadium. 2 goals that have to go down as own goals, and 2 quality finishes from Salas and Shevchenko. And at the break, it's Lazio 3, AC Milan 2. Lazio seemingly on course for a 5th successive victory in all competitions. And on an evening when we've literally had everything, there's also been a half-time wedding inside Rome's Olympic Stadium. On which side will it bring the good luck to? There's been strokes of fortune on either side. And Lazio at the moment just shedding it by 3 goals to 2. And that burst towards the end of the first half. 3 goals in 4 minutes. Another following soon afterwards through Andrei Shevchenko. It's been a pretty good evening all round. Milan may disagree, but they're by no means out of the game yet. This is Giunti. Too high and too strong for Shevchenko.
Yeah, Shevchenko just pulling off the defender's shoulder there, just looking for that little ball just to miss him, so he can get in behind him. Just a little bit too far there.
Shevchenko, who celebrated his 23rd birthday in the week. UEFA's Forward of the Year for his Champions League displays for Dinamo Kiev last season. Here's Juan Veron, second top scorer for Lazio this season, and teeing up the efforts. Not too far away. Abbiati certainly could have done nothing about that were it bound for the top corner from Conceicao.
That's right, when Conceicao knocked it across, I thought it was just a hopeful ball across. It went through a crowd of players and ended up on the left foot of Conceicao, struck it superbly, but rising all the time.
Again, question marks about the Milan defending.
But that's like he's just crept in off the right-hand side and obviously come on the blind side and hasn't been picked up.
Better defending from Lazio and from the incomparable Alessandro Nesta, such is his form at the moment. Now Simeone. Pancaro's caught. Ambrosini. Pancaro just about atoned for his error.
Yeah, he's just got the ball caught up under his feet there, and he lost it a little bit, and they nearly made him, nearly caused himself an awkward situation.
It's a lovely flip from Salas. Conceicao can't quite keep it in. Had a very busy game, Sergio Conceicao, the Portuguese international. Again, he's by no means a regular in the Lazio side, but there's not too many players who can claim to be. Perhaps only Mihajlović seems to be exempt from Sven-Göran Eriksson's squad rotation system. And Conceicao, who's effectively deputising for Nedved this evening, has done well.
Oh, he's done ever so well. Great ball in for the goal. He's worked ever so hard, and whenever he's had the ball, he's looked dangerous.
And here's Veron looking towards Salas, inches away from a second goal on the night. Really had to stretch to try and make contact with Veron's through ball.
Well, he does that ever so well, Veron. I mean, he slides balls into players, front players' feet especially. You know, whether the front players are coming off or whether it's a ball through on goal like that. I mean, that's literally inches away from Salas maybe to getting another goal.
Veron and Salas are two players who particularly caught the eye this evening. Two players performing at the top of their games. Simeone can't pick out Boksic. Shevchenko on the charge. Who's there with him but Nesta again? Now Almeyda, who's been the quietest of the central midfield trio for Lazio.
Well, that's it. I think he scored his goal for the season, hasn't he, last week? And it was a bit of a special one as well. I think he's been told keep back now. He's got that one for the year.
Just his second Serie A goal. A 40-yarder. Pancaro. Tied it up by Ayala. And Maldini nearly runs into trouble with Salas. Play goes on with Almeyda. Weah's beaten in the air. Cleared by Costacurta. As far as Mihajlović. Gulli. Well, as soon as we've said Almeyda's having a quiet evening, he's been involved in two good midfield challenges. Simeone.
Keeping the ball ever so well, Lazio now. Knocking it about very crisply and look like they're going forward with a purpose every time.
And here's Boksic. Albertini nearly caught. Pace of the game has been increased for the start of the second half. Milan with Costacurta. Gulli, the Argentine, sees George Weah in the middle, but Weah, unlike Boksic at the other end, has rarely been able to get any space away from his markers. He's always got two light blue shirts around him at least.
That's right, and when the ball's been played through to him, it's been a difficult ball to bring down like the one there. And you know, you've got to do unbelievably well to pick balls out the sky a little bit too far away for you. And he nearly done it, but couldn't quite get there.
It's a challenge from Pancaro. Conceicao doubled up with him to deny Serginho. And Lazio struggling to get the ball away. It was Almeyda who was caught. And such a cool customer normally, Sven-Göran Eriksson, is none too happy with his Argentine schemer for the foul on Albertini. It's presented Milan with a great chance at the start of the second half.
Yeah, dangerous place to give a free kick away, and this will be advantage Milan for this situation. Be interesting to see who gets on the ball for this.
And he held his hands up straight away in an admission of guilt, did Almeyda.
Yeah, he knew he'd lost him, and he knew he'd just got in front of him, and he knew he had to stop him.
Marchigiani lines up the wall. Milan think back to the training ground routines of the week and see if they can recreate them when it matters most. Gulli and Serginho are making a nuisance of themselves in the Lazio wall.
Don't think there's going to be anything too complicated with this.
Shevchenko is the favourite. There are, of course, any number of players. It is Shevchenko, and it's a bit of an anticlimax.
Yeah, it was a bit. You could see what he had in his mind, but it's a very difficult skill to get the ball up and down so quickly with pace on it to beat the keeper on that side of the goal. And that's why we see so many of those attempts go over the bar.
If a free kick is conceded in a similar position at the other end of the field, I feel that Mihajlović may make a slightly better fist of it, but then he's been around a bit longer and has had a bit more practice.
That's right, he's got a very cultured left foot, and he can deliver that one very well.
Almeyda. We should mention more often that he's not involved in the game. He's never been far away from the ball since we did. Too high for Salas. Boksic might get a touch. And Gulli tries to combine with... And it was with Giunti to clear. It's Almeyda back in and behind. Marcelo Salas is just holding his forehead. He seemed to take another nudge. He's always involved in those aerial battles in the opposition penalty area, Marcelo Salas, and he wins his fair share despite not being the tallest. He really is spring-heeled.
Oh, he's got great leap, and he knows where to be when the ball's coming across. I think he was a bit frustrated with Almeyda there, just put too much on it, and it was slightly the wrong angle for him to attack it.
Here's Pancaro. Noise level rose inside the stadium as he started to move towards the halfway line. Hardly a player renowned for scoring goals, Giuseppe Pancaro. Veron. Boksic.
Great bit of skill there from Veron. The ball coming high out of the sky, just bringing it down, killing it dead. You know, very aware of what was around him. He's been superb so far.
Here he goes again, looking to pick out Salas! Great save from Abbiati.
What a fantastic delivery there from Veron, and what a great header again.
Well, Veron took his time. It was a measured chip. It is inch perfect for Salas to get away from Maldini. It's a super save because Salas, quite simply with his head, never misses the target.
Yeah, we was already praising the good play going forward, but it was a fantastic save at the same time.
And still the danger not clear. It's Mihajlović. Finally away as far as Veron. Salas was offside as the ball was cleared. There seemed to be an elbow lash out as well. The referee is letting play go on with a throw for Lazio. Thankfully nothing erupted after that little shrug off. It was Albertini who wasn't happy with the attentions.
Well, I think we should give the referee a mention actually. He's been very good. We've hardly noticed that he's been in the game, and I think that's always a good sign.
No card shown by Signor Bazzoli. Weah. Should be easy for Marchigiani. It's a long ball for Marcelo Salas, but even on top form he can't beat the assistant referee's offside flag. And it's not just him, Boksic too.
He takes that ball coming over his shoulder from distance so well though.
Remember in particular the goal he scored against England at Wembley. Maldini making his run into the box. Here's George Weah. Took it down pretty well himself there. Showed a little too much of it though to Favalli. There's another long one for Boksic to chase. Ayala with him, he's checking to see where Costacurta is behind. He's there to clear it ahead of Salas. Feet of Maldini were quick enough to get away from Veron. It's another strong challenge from Simeone. And the offside flag is raised. Salas, you can see, disagrees with that decision for one. You can see the fans behind the assistant referee as well. Absolutely furious. Well, he was right.
Yeah, it looks like he's just level there. Temper's getting a bit frayed between Boksic and can't see that is.
Boksic tangling with Roberto Ayala. And still the argument rages.
Yeah. How about that 45-50-yard pass from Veron again, though? What a brilliant ball that was.
Here through towards George Weah, and that could be a penalty, and it is a penalty for AC Milan. Weah round Marchigiani.
Yeah, Weah only had one thing in his mind there. If he could get there before the keeper, he was going down. I was a bit disappointed he never tried to do what Shevchenko done, which was take it to the side of the keeper and actually score himself.
Just as we were praising the service of Veron, there's a marvellous through ball for Weah to chase. He's always going to get the touch before Marchigiani, and there was only ever going to be one result. Superb ball from Ambrosini, though.
It was slide rule pass. Looking at it a few times, maybe Weah done the right thing. He might have struggled to actually get a strike on goal once he'd had that first touch. The next best thing is a penalty, and it looks like Shevchenko's going to take it.
AC Milan with a chance to draw level. They were 3-1 down to Lazio. It was Shevchenko who got them back into the game before half-time. Now he has the chance to score his second and Milan's third. Andrei Shevchenko scores with ease. 3-3.
Cool as you like, eh, Shevchenko? Run up with pace and then just calmly slotted it in that bottom right-hand goalkeeper's corner.
And well might the Milan supporters celebrate along with Silvio Berlusconi and the rest of the contingent from Milan. Cool as you like from Andrei Shevchenko.
Just see it on Marchigiani's face there. He knew once he committed himself that he'd gone the wrong way.
And the official scoreboard still credits George Weah with the first goal for Milan and Simeone with Lazio's second.
Yeah, they obviously haven't had the benefit of 2 or 3 replays like this guy, have they?
I feel quite sure we can put those down to a Mihajlović own goal and an Albertini punch into his own net, and a little more calm now, Zaccheroni, unlike Sven-Göran Eriksson.
Which way is this game going to go next?
And you really wouldn't want to wager any amount of lira on this one. Mihajlović almost caught by Weah, then he is caught by the left ankle. Little doubt about that decision. And Milan's last away win was against Perugia on the last day of last season. A win that brought them the Scudetto at Lazio's expense. Not sure if they're going to upset Lazio with another away win. They have something better to do at the moment. Veron. Almeyda battling, and Milan are doing that a little bit more themselves. And there's all sorts of strange and weird and wonderful challenges going in. Ambrosini, the latest victim.
It's good to see the referee trying to let the game flow. I mean, most referees possibly would have given a free kick with the Almeyda just before that. And he's let it go because it's an advantage, but then there's an incident straight after it.
Mihajlović seems to have started the second half particularly steamed up. He said in the build-up to the game, Sinisa Mihajlović, this is the match of our lives, we have a score to settle. Well, he certainly settled Ambrosini there. Serginho. Return from Shevchenko, that's all a little bit too frantic. Boksic was let down by his touch, not for the first time this evening.
Yeah, once or twice it's just got away from him. Again there he just sees...
Shevchenko rides the challenge of Almeyda. not the second one, but still the move goes on. And finally there's a breakdown in communication between Shevchenko and Giunti. Again the pace increases. Conceicao. Salas. Veron. Milan get back in numbers as Roberto Mancini prepares to make his entrance for Lazio. Shevchenko caught by Pancaro. It's a super challenge. Conceicao. Salas couldn't bring it under control. And George Weah has got there fractionally ahead of Mihajlović. Throw in for Milan. He would feel have just got the upper hand at the moment, certainly in terms of confidence.
Yeah, the goal certainly given them the lift. Generally over the whole match, I feel Lazio have just possibly shaded it, but at this stage of the game, Milan certainly got the upper hand.
No real surprise to see Boksic replaced, and it's an experienced campaigner in Roberto Mancini who replaces him, and a change for Milan too. We're going to see another Brazilian enter the field. Leonardo is going to come on, wearing the number 18 shirt, and he replaces the midfield battler Federico Giunti. Will come Milan. Shevchenko trying to get the better of Pancaro, who I think will feel himself very unlucky to have had the handball decision given against him. Shevchenko sees the funny side. Flicked it up against the arms of Pancaro. Couldn't really get out of the way of that one.
No, certainly ball to hand, really.
And here's Shevchenko again. Weah makes the run toward it. Still the Ukrainian. Goes down. That won't be a penalty this time. And he's going to get the first yellow card of the evening for taking a dive.
Yeah, I certainly think, I mean, good defending. They've got a lot of bodies around him. They know he's a danger when he's in the box, and he was shying him away from the box, trying to get him out. I think, oh, looking at it there on the replay, he's got half a shout.
Going away from goal. It was a reckless challenge from Almeyda.
I certainly think there was some contact. I mean, it looked like he'd made a bit of a meal of it in the first place, but there was definitely contact there.
And he hasn't managed to get his first hat-trick in Milan colours. On that occasion, he has got his first yellow card.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky to get a yellow card.
Mancini was the target this time rather than Salas. Costacurta and Maldini combine, as they have done so often in their careers, to clear. Trick stuff from the impressive Massimo Ambrosini. Not a name that stands out in the Milan lineup. Maybe that's why, giving it away after the trick stuff. And now Veron is caught by Costacurta. Has to be a free kick. It's another yellow card as well. And if Shevchenko picks up his first, that is Alessandro Costacurta's 6th booking of the season already.
Well, you can see why with tackles like that. I mean, Veron, very difficult customer to apprehend, and he's coming at him with pace, just gone inside him. Great feet, you know, he keeps the ball, he has a lot of touches, keeps it close to him. Checked inside, he's looking for the shot, and Costacurta's brought him down.
Ruled out of Milan's next Champions League game through suspension. His 3rd Serie A booking means, I don't suppose he'll be very far away from missing a league game in the near future. In the meantime, he's got to be at his defensive best.
3 guesses who's on this one.
This is Mihajlović. And it would be churlish to say it's on the wrong side for his left foot. The crowd anticipate another Mihajlović rocket shot. And he beats the wall, but also the crossbar. And for the 2nd time in the game, we build up the free kick ball, only to be let down.
Well, you know, it was a decent effort, but the power that they're trying to generate, and at the same time trying to get the ball up and down, you know, it's a great skill to be able to do, and to do it well.
And so far his corners have been spot on.
Yeah. You've got a longer distance to dip it in with a corner, you know, you're 20, 22 yards out there, very difficult. There's
Pancaro giving a throw in to Milan. There's a change down in the dugouts. Zaccaroni is the calmer of the coaches. Sven-Göran Eriksson usually stays seated throughout the game. He's been pacing up and down, smoothing back what's left of his hair. Doesn't look particularly content with life at the moment. This is Serginho. Nice little flick from Shevchenko, and Serginho, we've seen his pace already. And he's got there. Mihajlović this time on defensive duty. And Pancaro conceding another throw rather needlessly.
Yeah, Serginho got in for the first goal for Milan, and showing his pace, getting in the back of Lazio defence again, and seeing that he can certainly cause them problems.
Ambrosini's cross. Again Mihajlović away. Ambrosini. Maldini. Costacurta. This is a good spell of possession from Milan. Weah trying to stay onside. Gulli finds him. Nice touch from Weah. It's the Lazio players who appeal for the offside, and it's given against the Argentine Gulli. You were thankful that he has his nickname on the back of his shirt, Paul, because his real name, Guglielmin Pietro, would have caused anybody problems.
I think I might have struggled with that one a little bit, yeah.
Just wanted to get it in once before the end of the match. And Veron's given that straight away. That was his worst ball of the evening by some distance.
Must say, I've been very impressed with the referees. Kept the game flowing, hasn't stopped it with needless offsides. You know, whenever he's had a chance to carry the game on, he's done it, and he's had an excellent game.
And yet again, we're saying what a match as it comes in too close to Abbiati for Mancini's liking. Something's just gone a little wrong with Lazio.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were 3-1 up, and now it's 3 each, and that's got to, you know, that's going to be a big mental blow for them. And it's given Milan a big boost confidence-wise, and actually believe that they can go on and win the game now. You can see the uplift, and the tempo's gone up in their play, and
now Leonardo's got a free kick in a Brazil-Argentina battle with Almeyda. Weah. Another scuff the pass, but Shevchenko might make the most of it. 4-3 Milan. Shevchenko hat-trick.
Well, another great goal, similar to his other goal, but on his left side. He's just pulled away from the defender, let it run across his body, hoping the defender can't make it to the ball. One touch and a great finish.
And from 3-1 down, Milan lead 4-3 and are again proving to be the scourge of Rome. Shevchenko with the pace to take on and beat Pancaro. He doesn't just have pace, his poise in front of goal is why UEFA named him their forward of the year last season. He's continued in the same vein this time.
Yeah, angled ball in, a little over. I can't see who done the over there. And like I say, Shevchenko letting it run across his body, one touch towards the goal, and then smashes it low and hard in the far corner. Fabulous finish.
Because Boots Advantage Card gives you a generous 4 points per pound, you can afford to spoil yourself a little more.
Call Chatterbox now on 0906 2020 2020. That's 0906 2020 2020. Call Chatterbox now.
New Ice White from Wrigley's, proven to reduce the build-up of stains to leave teeth feeling cleaner, looking whiter. It's the easy way to cleaner, whiter teeth.
Buy your gas and electricity from British Gas, and you could be guaranteed cheaper electricity prices than your local supplier. Until 2002. A monster offer from British Gas. Call 0845 606 2002.
Here's Almeyda. The Olympic Stadium absolutely stunned. Conceicao. Serginho doing some defending. Conceicao. Well, before the game we were thinking we might see another blast from Salas. We did. And a bullet header that put Lazio into a convincing 3-1 lead. He has been well and truly upstaged. And Diego Simeone is starting to show signs of frustration as Lazio boost their strike power. Simone Inzaghi. He's going to come on. Simeone makes his way to the touchline. And I'm sure will make his feelings known to the coach.
Yeah, I think that just tells you exactly how Eriksen's seeing the game now. He's going all out attack. He knows he needs to try and nick another goal from somewhere. And hopefully he sees Inzaghi as the man to do it for him.
Mihajlović with the corner. That's Gulli tangling with Mancini. It's another great corner. He's so close to an own goal. Mancini claims it crossed the line. It flicked off Serginho. He nearly had the third own goal of the night. Certainly sparked things off again as far as Lazio are concerned. Mihajlović. The right boot, not as good as the left. It's Abbiati who does make the save just.
Yeah, great camera angle there. Just gives us all the information we need, and you can see it doesn't go over the line. But again, it's the service in from the corner that's causing all the problems. Pace, accuracy.
This might be another chance for Inzaghi. He slipped as he was about to strike. Veron, Salas, 4-4. He's upstaged no more.
Well, I can't believe the goals in the game we're getting here. It's unbelievable.
Marcelo Salas grabs his second. Now his aim is to equal Shevchenko and get the hat-trick, and there is still plenty more to come in a magnificent night of Serie A football. 4-4 in Rome.
Yeah, I mean, all the defenders there trying to stop the one across the 6-yard box, but Salas just held his ground for that split second, and Veron had spotted him. He just pulled it back right into his path, and he's just slotted it in comfortably. Great finish.
No disputing whether that one crossed the line, despite Abbiati's despairing dive. 8 goals, 4 apiece. And not for the first time, Paul, this season, we're saying that some of these Italian defences are behaving in a most un-Italian fashion.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I think you've got to give credit to the forward play. These are top strikers, top midfielders. I mean, Veron knew exactly what he was doing. I think it was a very subtle move by Salas. He just held his ground for that split second while all the defenders were trying to get back into the 6-yard box. And Veron spotted exactly what he was trying to do.
And here's Shevchenko. This time across the face, away from Leonardo and goalkeeper Marcagiani. Walshy, you're a typical ex-forward.
I was waffling on a bit about the forward play there, wasn't I? Sorry.
Marcelo Salas, bang on form. He always looks a very nervous character, but there's no doubting his dominance when it comes to work in the penalty area.
I mean, what he done and Veron done there, you know, you wouldn't particularly spot, but he just held his ground for that split second, which gave him that chance to score that goal.
When you look through the teams towards the top of Serie A, all of them have one thing in common, that is they have outstanding strikers. Inter at the top with Vieri and Ronaldo. Roma were sitting in second at start of play. They've got Francesco Totti. Lazio, of course, here with, well, per many one from 4, really. Salas is the man in form. Juventus have Inzaghi Senior as an argument rages between Veron and Ambrosini, which Veron quite wants to continue. And then you look at Fiorentina with Batistuta. The list goes on right down the league.
Some top world-class players amongst them top teams there.
Fiorentina beaten 3-1 by Roma at home earlier on this afternoon. Batistuta scored. Cafu got 2 for Roma. And Francesco Totti and Jörg Heinrich were sent off. Hopefully that won't happen here with the little disagreement, first of all between Veron and Serginho, and then Ambrosini adding his 2,000 million lira worth.
Well, actually, Veron just stood on Serginho there. I don't know if Ambrosini spotted that, but certainly got upset with him.
Weah's flick. Mihajlović clear. Not the best of defensive headers. Costacurta likewise. Abbiati Stretching but can't keep it in, and all of a sudden it's changed round again. It's Lazio with the upper hand, and we still have 15 minutes left of what has been an amazing encounter.
I don't think either side can believe how the game swung one way and then the other. And every time a team scores a goal, it just gives them that lift for that 5 or 10 minutes.
Salas watched, and isn't he being closely watched? Mihajlović, this time goes deep. Maybe the wrong option. Maybe not. Veron. Plenty of shirts, plenty of Milan shirts back. Mancini crowded out. When there are some half-hearted appeals for a penalty, Mancini will settle for the corner.
Yeah, Mihajlović, his cross in there, his corner in from the first one was a little bit overhit. Veron made the best of a poor situation, digging it out and knocking it back into the box and gaining another corner.
And a change made in defence as far as Milan are concerned. They're taking off Serginho and throwing on the French international defender Bruno Ngotti. It's a change that suggests that Alberto Zaccheroni is going to just try and shore things up a little bit, reverting, it would seem, to a standard back four. Serginho's worked hard with some reward down the left-hand side, and he's listening to the jeers of the crowd and saying, "Who, me?"
Yeah, I think that's right, Guy. I mean, I think he's just going to, like you say, sacrifice that little bit of Serginho going forward for someone a little bit more defensive-minded.
With Salas in the mood he's in, how on earth do you shore up the defence against him? It's Mihajlović again. Abbiati made his mind up early. Well, you'd have him in your team just to take corners.
Yeah, great delivery in again, but the keeper, to be fair to him, has made his decision to come for it and he's cleared the danger.
And you'd have that man in your team, Juan Veron, whatever team you're in charge of.
Yeah, I think he's been fantastic tonight. I think he's only given the ball away once that I can remember. He's hit some fantastic cross-field passes. He's been in the box, he's had shots, he's had a bit of everything.
There's Weah, runs into Almeyda. I don't know about you, Paul, but I can't quite believe there's still over 12 minutes of this game remaining. Anything could yet happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't dare call the result still, the way the game's gone up to now.
Salas just got it caught under his feet. Albertini slows it down for Milan.
I think both teams would settle for this result now. The game swung so many times in different directions. I think the players are thinking, well, you know, we'll settle for this at 4 each.
And hard to believe that the corresponding fixture last year was 0-0. Offside flag raised against. At first glance, I thought it was Mancini. He seemed to be onside. Certainly wasn't Salas. Noticeable that of the two sides, it's Milan who are slowing it down a little now.
Well, yeah, that's what makes me think that they've accepted the result, really. I think, as it stands now, it'll still be a good result for Milan. Lazio would probably like them go and nick it, and they're still pushing forward a little bit more, and maybe they're still looking to do that.
Milan are doing their utmost to stretch their unbeaten Serie A run to 16 games. They're also doing their utmost to maintain their mantle as leading scorers in the league this season. 14 now from the Rossoneri, and this just their 5th league game. They keep on with that average, they won't be far away from another Scudetto success at the end of the season.
No, that's right, that's a fantastic rate of scoring.
And they've only got Weah left on the bench to come on if the goals dry up. Veron. Ngotti. Albertini. Overhit, there's no Serginho to storm down the wing now. Zaccheroni wants things a little more tight in the midfield. Certainly can't afford to squander possession. Mancini. Salas has made the run, but not into space, and Mancini over-elaborating. In goes the challenger Favalli. Sandwich again on the same player. A free kick for Giuseppe Favalli. Veron. There could be no more worthy match winner. And still he has possession and he waits. And the chance is smothered by Abbiati. Inzaghi was waiting to pounce.
That was an absolutely unbelievable bit of skill by Veron. He had so many bodies around. He just rolled his foot on top of the ball and slid a fantastic pass through to Mancini there. He's made the keeper made a save.
It's been an outstanding all-round midfield display from Veron. He started on the left-hand side of midfield for Lazio. That's where we've seen him most, but he's moved into the middle effectively. He's played through balls, crossfield balls, and he sparked it all off with the first goal.
That's right, he's been all over the place and he's caused problems and hit great passes all night. I've been really impressed with him. No, he did cost 18 million, so I suppose we're entitled to be impressed.
And even he's possibly been upstaged by 3 goals Shevchenko and 2 goals Salas. It's always the strikers who get the glory.
Yeah, it'll be them names in the paper tomorrow.
Still Salas works hard to close down Ngotti. Nesta's been accomplished as ever at the back for Lazio. Strange to say that in a 4-all draw.
That's right, 8 goals and we're talking about a defender.
Almeyda.
Is it going to be 9?
Could well be. It's Ngotti who plays it back to Abbiati, who shows his skills with a left foot volley. Abbiati, who's hoping to receive an award this week. A football Oscar, as they call them in Italy. He's in line for the goalkeeper award, along with Buffon of Parma and Toldo of Fiorentina. I don't suppose he'll be happy going to that award ceremony with 4 goals put past him on the Sunday night. Although none of them, apart from that one from the Mihajlović corner that will have to go down as an own goal, could be blamed.
Very difficult. We're going to see possibly the same sort of thing again here.
Same
once
side.
again, how difficult it can be to deal with.
Inzaghi making the break, miss. This time Mihajlović only finds the head of George Weah.
Wasn't one of his most accurate of the night.
Veron. Away by Ambrosini. And a throw for Lazio. Lazio 4, AC Milan 4. Rome's Olympic Stadium has seen many outstanding nights of football. And this, in terms of Serie A football, is one of the best. And Paul, you've been inside this stadium with Liverpool. You know what it's like when an atmosphere develops. At the moment, it's kind of an atmosphere of shell shock.
It is. I don't think the supporters can believe what a game they've seen. I mean, forgetting the result, I mean, it must, at least they're going to go and have been well entertained. I'm sure they'll still have their gripes about drawing one side or the other, but it's been a great night of football.
Still not over. Where? This is Shevchenko, beaten by the hard-working Favalli. And Favalli will leave that one for Mihajlović. Here's Veron. It's another one of those outstanding balls to Mancini. Now taking on Gulli. Waits to see where Salas and Inzaghi are in the middle, and then just held on a little too long. Weah.
See, Veron, he hits those passes at such distance, because he hits them so accurately and so low and so hard, they don't give defenders a chance to get near them.
This is Pancaro's cross and a turn from Salas. Abbiati and his defence somehow have scrambled it away. It's Lazio ending the game the stronger.
Salas,
Mancini.
Salas there, nearly getting it down and getting half a chance there. It just wouldn't fall for him.
Might fall for him again with a rather reckless clearance from Ambrosini. He'll do better maybe with his head, and surely Almeyda led with his elbow. It's Veron with the shot. And Abbiati makes the save.
Forget the goal scorers. He's certainly got my MOM tonight, Veron. He's been fantastic.
Well, he's a goal scorer himself as well.
Well, yeah.
And there he is, right on cue, tracking back, working harder than anyone to keep Lazio moving and looking for the winner.
Well, he's smashing it out wide from 30, 40 yards. He's smashing shots in from 30, 40 yards, and then he's back tackling on the edge of his own box.
Argentine international Juan Sebastian Veron, another Argentine Almeyda, looks to be struggling in the midfield.
He is, he's limping along a bit gingerly there.
Leonardo has looked towards Maldini, and Maldini is being held, is he? He looks pleadingly towards referee Bazzoli. First time he's chanced his arm.
That's it, I think it's the only time we've really made a concerted run into the opposition's half, and he's actually got a great chance there, and I think he thought he could get it at second attempt, and it came back, hit his other knee and got away from him.
Well, you've seen them given for that. He was tangling all the way with the backtracking Conceicao. It was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, maybe.
Yeah, no, the referee's made a great decision there. I just think Maldini was very unlucky. He's dragged the ball back, it's hit him on the opposite knee and just got away from him. Otherwise, that could have been 5-4.
I wonder if the shout would have been stronger in the San Siro. Shevchenko leaves the field. His work is done for the night. A hat-trick and the match ball.
Yeah, he's had a brilliant game. He's looked a threat all night.
It's the former Rangers midfielder, Rino Gatusso, who replaces the Ukrainian. Gatusso, just 21. Joined Rangers as a teenager, but soon returned to Italy with Salernitana. £6 million plus buy for Milan in the summer. And look at Alberto Zaccaroni. The teacups will be flying at full time, it would seem, in both dressing rooms, and he's getting a firm dressing down from a referee who is still possibly the coolest man in Rome.
He's not at the moment.
The ref.
No, the ref, sorry, I meant Zaccaroni. He's well pumped up on the side. I wasn't looking at the ref, I was just looking at Zaccaroni, and he's going crazy, or was going crazy.
He might do again, because Lazio got a free kick. It's Veron, and Gattuso's making his presence felt immediately. And still continues the words. It's Almeyda joining in the fight.
Yeah, it'd be a shame for this sort of thing to spoil the game, because it's been an unbelievable match. You know, played in a decent spirit. There's not been too many bad incidents. It'd be a shame to mar it right at the death with silly stuff like this.
Matthias Almeyda talks on. Play will go on with another Mihajlović free kick. Concern for the Milan bench. It's not going to be a shot from Mihajlović, you would think, with the two-man wall. There's plenty of jostling going on. It's Mihajlović, and it's away. Again the Yugoslav, outside of the boot this time. And Milan can't quite prevent the corner being conceded. Lazio are ending the game with a storm.
That's it, Mihajlović just bending it in again with his left foot. Such a dangerous delivery, and I think we're going to see him again here. If he can get his accuracy right, could cause problems right at the death of the match.
And last time it was 14-0 corners to Lazio and a 0-0 draw. Mihajlović, it's not clear yet. Very nearly a third-own goal. And look at the argument between Gatusso and Ayala. And Gatusso seems to have been given the job of upsetting everybody on the field since coming on.
That's right, but again, it's all down to the delivery of that corner. I mean, to be fair, the defender on the floor is, you know, in there trying to do his job.
Here we go again from Mihajlović. And it just caught Pancaro leaning backwards. There was some pushing and shoving as well. Milan get the free kick and a chance to get their breath back. And you can see again, it's Gatusso with Almeyda, who seems to have remembered the argument of a couple of minutes ago.
Well, if anyone had seen that, he'd have been off.
Gatusso felt it. He's telling the referee all about it.
I think he's right, rightly so, that he's upset. Well, it's off the ball, he's been punched in the face.
Inzaghi. It's all Lazio. Veron. It's a great ball. Salas waits. Almeyda arrives too late. Favalli. Again Almeyda. Constant Lazio pressure. Two trying to clear. It's back with a ferocious shot. Abbiati happy to watch it well wide from the Lazio skipper Alessandro Nesta.
Yeah, he certainly gave that a good dig. Too much power and not enough accuracy though.
Well, in a game where we've had just about everything, it would top the lot if Nesta were to score. Only ever got one Serie A goal. He was the player who wound up Milan in the week, with comments that they'd thrown the dummy out of the pram and all sorts of other remarks to fire up the visitors. It's defending in fiery fashion, and Conceicao's done brilliantly away from Gatusso and Maldini. Finally the covering midfielder was Albertini, and Conceicao is claiming a hand.
Yeah, it's difficult for us to see there, Guy, but well,
it would have been harsh.
I think it came off his body and then hit his arm. Let's see what Mihajlović can dish up
this could be as good as a penalty. It's Mihajlović, it's Salas! And it's Abiati's save, just.
Yeah, we've got Salas peeling round the back there. Great delivery once again. He's got a great header. It's a bit of a tight angle, but the keeper's made a fantastic save. That's goal bound all the way.
And Mihajlović, Salas 1-2. And another Lazio corner. And again, he finds the target, Salas. This time Mihajlović has varied the corner routine. A minute of stoppage time already played. Lazio 4, AC Milan 4. Mihajlović looking for Salas. Veron. Thought he was winding up the big one. He might yet be. And Inzaghi was squeezed out of it.
Yeah, great play by Veron again. Shaped up like he was going to have a shot and just slid the pass into the striker, but it was crowded out.
Excellent touch from Weah to kill the ball stone dead. A throw will do for Milan at this stage.
Yeah, I think if anyone's shaded it, Lazio has certainly just done that. And but I think, to be fair to both teams, I would like it to stay 4-4 now, because I don't really think that anyone deserves to lose this game. Both played ever so well, and it's been great to watch.
Gatusso. And his passing isn't quite as on form as his temper, it would seem. Mancini dispossessed by Albertini. Colleagues of old for international days. Veron. There's a bit of space for Pancaro. Giuseppe Pancaro's lining something up, which Abiati watches wide with some disdain, and that could be just about that.
Yeah, I think Pancaro coming in there, he didn't look comfortable as he shaped up to hit that, and I think the result showed that. But no, it's been a fantastic match. Really enjoyed some great play, some great forward play, some great midfield play, and there's been players all around the pitch had good games tonight. I know you could criticise the defences because of the 8 goals that have gone in, but I think it's been fantastic forward play that's created the goals.
We've had great goals, we've had bad goals, if there can be such a thing. We've had a few on-field disagreements, a hat-trick, maybe a final twist in the tail. It's Milan looking for George Weah, and easy for Luca Marcagiani. The Lazio goalkeeper, beaten 4 times, and he's hardly had any other saves of note to make.
No, not really. Certainly Abiati has been tested more frequently. I think that's testament to the way Lazio have approached the game tonight.
Mancini leaning into the back of Ngotti. And there is Bruno Ngotti with a neat sidestep. But a poor ball. Mihajlović. Inzaghi receives it now from Conceicao. Ayala all over his back. Inzaghi maybe leaning in, trying to get the fall. He's got the corner.
That'll be unbelievable if they win this 5-4.
And where's the referee found this time from?
Yeah, good question, I don't know. There hasn't been that many stoppages, has there?
Sven-Göran Eriksson. Well,
nearly 4 minutes over.
He looked to have been calling to an end, but this is one last chance for his side. It's Mihajlović, it might go straight in! And Abiati's clawed it behind. It's the last action of a magnificent game in the Olympic Stadium in Rome. We've had a hat-trick from Shevchenko, 2 goals from Salas, a magnificent midfield display from Juan Veron, and 8 goals. It's finished. Lazio 4, Milan